can see it, and we'll get more people to do chants before we get started with our demands, because we can march, we can protest all day, that's great, that's wonderful, but we've got to have demands that have to be met, right? We believe in protesting, that's why we're here. We believe in raising some hell if we have to nonviolently, but when it comes down to it, we have to make sure that the people who think that they're in power, who only got there because we elected them, they need to know that we mean business, that we need equity and equality for all. That doesn't mean for rich people who can pay to have somebody watch their children, pay to have somebody clean their house, and don't care where they come from because they're getting the jobs done, picking our vegetables, making our food for us, right? Working for minimum wage, which isn't a living wage. We need everybody to understand that wealth needs to be redistributed in this country. How many people here could use some more money in order to make ends meet? Pretty much everybody can. We know that. We need to expand Medicaid and health care. We need health care for all. We need to demilitarize the police. Tear gas, which is outlawed in times of war to be used on our residents here in the United States. No excuse for that. We have the right to protest. We have the right to air our grievances. And guess what? We all know we have the right to make the rules. It's about what we want, not about what a few need, a few think they want, the 1%. It's the 99% that is really the people who are in power. And that's what people showed when they shut down the highways. That's what people showed by coming out here. We're not going to be shutting down any highways tonight. We are really having a safe event. Thank you all, because what we want to do in just a few minutes is talk about the demands that we have. The demands we have for our city, for the people that we put in office. We have the jail sitting over there. We're going to go there in a little bit. We've got people who are in there getting sick all over this country, all over in the world. People who are incarcerated for small crimes, nonviolent crimes. Some of them are in jail for months before they're even tried, right? How many people here know somebody who's gone to jail and couldn't make bail for some small little crime that wasn't even considered, shouldn't be considered a crime? Smoking weed, a violation on their tag, something like that, right? And there are people like that who are in jail. They shouldn't be there whether there's COVID or not. But especially during times like these, when disease can spread. I took my mask off to speak, but thank you for being safe. Thank you for being here. And now let's have somebody else, a young person, come up and speak from the crowd. Let's go.
My name is Sage Brew. All right? Now listen, the U.S. holds 5% of the world population, but 25% of incarcerated people.
That's right.
Why the hell is that? Why are most black men incarcerated more than white men?
Racism.
White people, it is your duty to fight for what is right. We own the privilege. It is our
everybody, different colors, white, brown, black, and like Kim says, I'm here from Mexico. I'm here from Mexico. Hello, hello. Yeah, this is Minerva again, and I'm excited to be here with you guys, white, brown, and black. And this is so nice to show the main people. We are united, and also we are fighting for our rights. They doing bad things should not be happening on this time. Everybody should be treated equal.
That's right.
The kids, the immigrant kids. Let me tell you, we're not coming in here because we are happy and living the life in where we born. No, that's not true. We're trying to come here. We get here because we want a better life. We want to have a better life and just decent life. And they put in so difficult to live on us. And just let's keep fighting for our rights. And don't give up, never give up. Thank you.
Power to the people! Say it, power to the people! 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 The people united! Will never be defeated! Will never be defeated! The people united! Will never be defeated! Will never be defeated! This is truly an amazing moment, everyone. I want you all to give yourselves a good cheer here. This is a beautiful moment. My name's Tony Ndege. I'm with Black Lives Matter, Black and Brown Lives Matter in Winston-Salem. We want to thank the new generation of freedom fighters out here today, but not just here in Winston-Salem. They've been all over, not just in the big cities, not just Raleigh and Charlotte and Durham. They've been out in Wilson, North Carolina. They've been out in Asheville. They've been out in Thomasville. They've been out in Salisbury. We talking about cities that have never, ever seen this kind of unity before. Don't stop. Don't let up. Don't go home and think that they will respect our demands just because they have said that they are listening. We have seen that dog and pony show before.
That's right.
We are here because a very sad and it's very infuriating injustice happened. But what has sprung forth from this pain is no greater power on earth. There's no greater power on this earth than a multiracial, multi-generational movement of the people that will not give up and that has lost its fear. And why have we lost our fear? Because it has become apparent that the system has failed us. It has failed to protect black lives and black bodies and the basic humanity of black people. The system has failed to protect the safety of essential workers. The system has failed to stop the crushing boot of poverty and debt. The system has failed to end war. This system has failed to stop a public lynching in full view of a horrified 17-year-old brave young woman as she pleaded for them to stop behind the only weapon that she had, her video camera. I am here because 5 years ago, we were out here in the streets at the county jail when the system failed to hold the officers who murdered Eric Garner accountable for their actions. There was something about watching his life extinguished that shook me for many reasons. Eric Garner was a big guy like me. But there was also something about him the moments before his death that I could sense that he was a giving person and a good person, a father, a humble human being, a brother who was trying to just get by, just trying to sell a few cigarettes, just trying to make a little dough. In that moment, he was tired. He was tired of being harassed like a subhuman criminal over something so petty, so cruel. He just wanted them to leave him alone and let him go home. And his asking for simple human respect cost him his life. I knew that as long as this wretched system exists, that we'd unfortunately have to be back here. But how could we have guessed that we would have to be here because we stood in horror, listening to those 3 words again as another gentle giant's life was extinguished. I can't breathe. That man was George Floyd. Say his name. 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 George Floyd. Black Lives Matter Winston-Salem stands in solidarity with the Minneapolis uprising and all of the oppressed black and brown people of the Americas, the global south, and the oppressed people of all around the world. This week, people have stood with us in Nigeria, in Kenya, in South Africa, in Ireland, in London, in France, in Brazil, in Germany, all over, all across the world. We understand that power concedes nothing without a demand. But to win those demands, we must first organize for our power. We therefore issue the following demands to our local and state leaders.
Yeah.
Some of them have already been met today. I want you all to be prepared to cheer for that. That the demands of the Minneapolis Twin Cities uprising for officer arrests and resignations are all met. I'm not just talking about officer resignations. Today we have learned that all 4 offending officers have been arrested. But we still have a lot of work to do because they were just charged with aiding and abetting manslaughter and second-degree murder. But we know at least 1 or 2 of those people had their bodies down on George Floyd.
That's right.
Not just the one who had his boot on his neck and his hands in his pocket. Demand number 2, release all local incarcerated low offenders due to COVID-19 dangers. Release them now. 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 Release them now.
Say his name. George Floyd. 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 Say his name. George
Lie down in whatever way is comfortable for you. 7:08, we're gonna go 8 more minutes.
For our lives. We're saying stop killing us, and they're saying, but why? For what? What's the use in your life? So if you are not a person of color, and you are standing out here, and you are not standing in front of me, you are not standing in front of her, you are not standing in front of him, you are not standing with us, and you are a spectator, and this is not the place for you. Come on now. Then you are representing you as yourself, as an ally for me, for him, for her, for the transgender man and woman beside you. Do you hear me? I don't want to have to have this conversation again. When we say Black Lives Matter, we need to make sure that they can hear it over there. They can hear it over there. Make sure they feel you. Make sure they see you. Make sure they hear you. Because they heard you when they said, I can't breathe. No justice! No peace! 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 No justice! No peace!
Doing y'all thing. Let's keep this going. Like I've been saying, do not let this be the only time we see you. Don't let this be the only time you see each other. Build a relationship. We're family.
How y'all doing? I want y'all to realize the power that we hold. Yesterday, all 50 states and 18 countries held protests in the name of Black Lives Matter. Not only did the charges get up against the original officer in George Floyd's case, the other 4 officers got charged as well. That's the power your voice has. So don't let nobody out here tell you that your voice don't matter, because when we're shaking that shit up, then they realize that that's what we need. That's what they need for us to light some fire under them to know that we are not standing for this any longer. 50 states, 18 countries, and now we're seeing the justice we deserve, but it do not stop here. I want y'all to know that 98.7% of police killings of black people do not result in convictions, and they have killed almost 7,800 people since 2013. Black people, do not play with them. Keep lighting that shit up until we get the justice we deserve. We are not stopping here. A charge does not mean nothing. An indictment does not mean anything. We need to see convictions. Out of 7,666 black people that have been killed by the police since 2013, only 25 of those cases saw a conviction. That is not okay. Only 1% of those cases even saw charges filed, and 98.7% saw no form of justice at all. We have got to keep going. It does not stop here. Allies, if that's what you call yourself, it do not stop here. It do not stop at Instagram. It do not stop at Facebook. And it do not stop at Twitter. And you have to keep going. And you have to keep fighting. But I want y'all to understand. Do not wear yourself out. The same way Black Lives Matter, remember yourself matters too. You cannot fight for this fight 100% if you are not taking care of yourself. Being a social justice advocate does not mean you have to be on the front line every day. If you cook, go cook for somebody. If you need to take snacks and water out to the protesters, do that. If all you can do is get on your radio show or your podcast and talk about what's going on, do that. If you can only give money to the bail funds, do that. If you can only go bail somebody out of jail, do that. Do not think your fight only lies here, and do not think you have to be on the front line or to be fighting. There are multiple ways to achieve justice, and the main thing y'all need to do is make sure y'all go vote. Yes. Do not stand here. It's free Black Lives Matter, and in November we're still dealing with the same ignorant ass people. Get out there and use y'all voice, and let's keep going.
Another way that you can protest is through your vote, because you need to understand that if the top is messed up, the rest will follow down through the command, okay? So your vote is powerful, and not only just you going to the polls, but you gotta take your cousin and your cousin's cousin pandemic, then you go ahead and you ask for your absentee ballot. North Carolina does not yet have voting by mail, but we do have absentee ballots. Please don't allow this pandemic to slow you guys down from voting, because we need to get people out of positions of power who abuse their power, who allow these things to go on, who do not ask for justice, who do not seek for justice. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of everybody for coming out tonight. You could have been anywhere, but you're here with us. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
It warms my heart so much to see everyone come together and to speak out against one common cause. But another thing that I also wanted to call attention to and ask everyone to assist me with today is saying Charles Dwayne Carruthers' name for Novant Health. On count of 3, can you all say Charles Dwayne Carruthers with me? 1, 2, 3. Charles Dwayne Carruthers. I say his name because this speaks to a health and inequality that is not oftentimes shunned upon, which is health care. Charles Dwayne Carruthers died at the age of 32 from osteosarcoma cancer. He did seek out help prior to it moving to stage 4, and it was notated on his doctor's record. His record notified that there was a spot on his leg, which would definitely be cancer, and they chose to tell him to go home. Take these pain pills and you'll be okay. You fast forward the clock less than 2 years later, we get the call that he is unresponsive and they have resuscitated him and taken him to Novant Health. We find out that that spot that was once able to be cut off, and he would have 55 years left of life left in him, had now spread to every part of his body. His feet, his fingers, his face, his head, his toes, everywhere. And we did seek justice. We sought out an attorney. But essentially, the city of Winston-Salem stated that there's no justice for thugs. He was his own worst enemy. So when you have a healthcare system where doctors and physician's assistant, Mr. Beach, if you hear me, take an oath to give equal health care, that does not apply to people of color. And how can I say this so confidently? As a college student, is not one library or institution within the college education that you cannot go to and find these inequalities written out for you in black and white. So for us to continue to stand here and act as though it just happened because George Floyd was so heinously murdered, we need to expand the conversation.
That's right.
And I hope that in this expansion, as she stated, we run for office. We hold our leaders accountable. And not only that, to change the laws that not only protect police officers, but also protect healthcare workers.
That's right.
Take an oath. Who have no regard for life when you look in their eyes like a thug. Thank you.